Welcome to A Brit in Poland. My name is Richard and I'm a Brit in Poland. This video is like a short introduction to tell you a little bit about the channel, a little bit about me, and hopefully you'll find it informative, we'll say. So I've been living here in Warsaw, if you hadn't guessed, from the scenery behind me, for almost 5 years at the time of recording this video. And this video will help to get an idea about what my channel is about, why I live in Poland, and some of the challenges that I face along the way. So I hope you find it useful. To give you a little bit about me, so I'm originally from Oxford, UK, and I lived in Cardiff as well for a number of years, but Warsaw I think is the first place that's felt like home. And in terms of what I'm about, I mean, I'm a pretty laid-back guy. You know, I like to travel. I love to explore new places, which you'll see on this channel, hopefully. I like reading. I like spending time with friends, going down for a few drinks at the pub. Well, bar here in Poland rather than pub. But I'm also a bit of a geek. I love my games, so I love board games, computer games, card games, that kind of thing. And I love my movies, particularly at the moment, maybe more your Marvel and DC stuff, but I love everything. Was very happy to see Spider-Man No Way Home last night, finally. So I hope you find this video useful, interesting, and maybe it will give you some ideas on what it's like to live abroad. So stay tuned. So one of the most commonly asked questions I get is how I even got to Poland in the first place, and secondly, why am I still here? So I thought I'd take you back to where it began. So this is the first office. So the main reason I was here to begin with was because of work. I was supposed to be here for 2.5 months, and now almost 5 years later I'm still here. So during those 2.5 months I met a lot of interesting people. I got to explore Poland a little bit and got to enjoy the company of I was having some very intelligent conversations with people. I was finding a very interesting worldview, which I was not getting in the UK. So I was working with these really cool people, I was drinking with these really cool people, and at the end of that 2.5 month stint, I said to myself, actually I quite like it here in Poland. And they offered to extend my contract, so I was like, okay, I can do this. So I accepted the offer. And what's kept me here? Well, to be honest, I mean, firstly, it's starting a new life, right? And it's something I guess you can do 2 or 3 times in life, depending on your creature comforts and things. But I was able to establish an entirely new network of friends. I was able to afford to rent an apartment and kind of be a lot more independent. Something which in the UK is quite difficult unless you're on a very high salary. And I preferred the lifestyle here. You know, I got a lot healthier living here, better quality food, more exercise, a lot more walking. I love to explore Poland, so I love to visit new cities, try new things. And the beer here is fantastic, I have to say. And to be honest, I don't know, it's hard to really put your finger on it, but I just felt a lot happier here than I did in the UK. I think in general you could say I found life a bit more fulfilling. And as it stands, I have no intention of leaving anytime soon. I can't say I'll live here forever, but you never know. And as an added note, the women in Poland are a lot nicer in general than the ones in the UK, and a bit more direct, which definitely helps with communication. I also think that my career is heading in the right direction here, and I've got some good prospects. So all in all, thumbs up for Poland all round. So before I tell you what the channel is about, I will just say feel free to check out my other media. So you have Instagram and Facebook, and I have a website. So you can find details for all of these in the description beneath the video. And you'll find I post a lot of content on these places that you will not see on the channel, including blogs, a lot of pictures, reels, random articles occasionally. So more and more about Poland. But what is this channel about? So when I started to make this channel, I have to be honest, I didn't have a big vision in mind. I was just thinking, okay, I'll do a few like vlogs about life in Poland and see if people are interested. But these days, you could say my vision is a lot bigger. So what I'm trying to do is to make this YouTube channel and the website I'm working on like a one-stop shop for like people who want to learn more about Poland or people who want to visit Poland. So a lot of the videos I do are related to traveling around the country, because Poland is actually a very interesting place, has a lovely history. It's got some beautiful cities, beautiful natural spots, so there's a lot to see here. So I'm trying to capture that. So every time I go to a new place, I always try to make sure that this is covered. And I try to visit as many places as I can in a year. Of course, money and time permitting. I mean, this is not a full-time job, this is a hobby of mine. So I do what I can, but I also try to talk a little bit about, say, Polish customs, Polish food. I don't know, anything I can think of related to Poland that, I think people might find interesting. Polish history can be another good topic. And as I learn more about the history of this country, then I will cover more and more historical topics on my channel. But in the meantime, take a look at the playlists, have a look, see the videos I've made and see if you like something. And of course, if you want to see more, then do feel free to subscribe. Of course, it's not always easy living abroad. Every excursion has its challenges, right? Especially when you're going to be staying long term. So the first thing is, of course, not being able to see friends and family so easily, especially since Brexit, where it's now a little bit trickier to go through the airports, though not too much. But that distance makes things hard, but thank God for Skype and Messenger and things like that. Also, cost of living is an interesting one, because in Poland, the cost of living is cheaper. Your money definitely goes further, but at the same time, you're on a much lower salary than you are in the West. So, if you're in the UK and you're doing a pretty decent job and you come to Poland, you're laughing, everything is cheap. But even in Poland, when you're on a pretty good job, doesn't mean that you're going to have money left at the end of the month as much as I would like. And then there's also, building a network. So when I started here, I was very lucky because as I was saying, I worked with a lot of good people in this company, and I made a lot of friends and connections through that. But people move on, people even leave the country, and your network kind of vanishes over time unless you work on it. So I've met people through various expat groups and friends of a friend, and going to certain parties, certain bars, even through Tinder and dating apps, I've been able to make friends. So, but it's always something that you need to work on. And with any friendship, you need to make sure you keep that regular contact. And talking about dating, this is another area that you could say is a challenge. Not being a native Polish speaker has its downsides in this department. Of course, in Warsaw you're quite lucky, most people speak at least some English, but it can be a little bit tricky to find a partner. I've had a couple of semi-long-term relationships here. Nothing that's quite worked out, but this is one of my main goals while I'm living here, to try and find a partner. I think it will make my time here much better, but also, of course, who doesn't want to find the right person? And going back to the language, I am learning Polish. It's an absolute nightmare of a language. It's easily classified as one of the more difficult languages in the world. But I think if you're going to live somewhere, it's important to be able to speak the native language, and I've been taking lessons for about a year now. And even though I'm getting a lot better, it's still difficult to pronounce a lot of words. I still need to build up my vocabulary, and the grammar is an absolute nightmare. But I'm going to keep with it and hopefully pass my citizenship test, which will be more fun bureaucracy, because bureaucracy in Poland, I have to say, is another challenge in itself. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to check out my playlists to see if there's any material that takes your fancy. And if there's anything that you would like to know, or if you have any topics that you think would be good for me to cover, do feel free to add a comment. I check every comment, and if it's, let's say, a nice comment, I will always respond. So thank you very much for watching. As always, please like, please subscribe, and do zobaczenia.